Good morning, stock traders, and welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, Stock Sumo, and thanks for joining us on this money. Who's ready to make some money Monday? And you know what time it is, folks. It's time to top off your cup of coffee here with Stock Traders Talk Radio. And today we're going to be switching it up. No more scanners. None of this, none of that. We're going right to a hot stock spotlight brought to you none other than by Hoss. What's up, Hoss?
That was probably the most entertaining intro I've ever heard you do, Stock Sumo, I must say. I'm doing great this morning. How are you, buddy? How was your weekend?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. If you can't tell, I had a great weekend. I'm just excited to be back, man. We had so much fun last week, killing the Apple calls. One of our best weeks by far, and I'm just excited to do it again this week. I think Monday couldn't have come sooner enough for me, man. I was looking forward to Monday all weekend. I was like, is it here yet?
Yeah, no doubt. I love my weekends, but I love my trading days too. I don't know. Are we boring because we kind of pray that Monday comes sooner when it's the weekend and we're supposed to be relaxing and enjoying ourselves?
No, I just think there's just so much excitement in the week that the weekend can be a little bit just a switch of pace because we're not used to seeing all that excitement going on. We're not used to staring at the level twos and breaking down the charts and the DD, and it's just a lot of fun. And man, I got stock jitters over it.
Stock jitters is a good way of putting it, man. Well, why don't we roll into the spotlight for the day, brother?
Absolutely. Take it away.
All right. We spotlighted this stock a while ago, very, very briefly. And the stock was really, really hot for a little while. But they've had some recent developments, very positive for the shareholders and obviously the company itself. So we figured we would bring it to your attention once again. The company is Medical Alarm Concepts Holding Incorporated. Ticker is MDHI. I'm just sitting here on the pink sheets. Get a general idea of the company here and what we're looking at as far as updating the shareholders. We see that it's an over-the-counter pink limited information company. We all know what that means. They're not totally current on their filings, and so we don't have super recent counts for share structures. We don't have super recent financial statements. The company's kind of been in a restructuring phase over the recent past here. And so we will look for the company to start updating their shareholders a little more as far as financials and filings go, in addition to some of the really, really positive press that they've been putting out here. All right, so as we can see, we're looking at a stock that's trading at about 0.003 right now. It's kind of been hanging out here on pretty low volume for a couple of weeks. Let's roll over to their actual website. This company has a couple of key products. The MetaPendant. This is a medical alarm system. And also they have a product, a fuel enhancer called Motor Booster, but we'll get to the Motor Booster product towards the end because it's not their main focus right now. And it's in early developmental stages versus the MetaPendant, which is about to enter a very, very key phase in its marketing. All right, so this MetaPendant, it's basically an alarm system. A good example is, I've fallen and I can't get up. A lot of older people with, bad hips or anything like that, and families worrying about loved ones, falling, not being able to get to a phone. There's various products, alarm systems on the market today that, kind of help with that. But most of these products, you have to be able to gain access to a specific location or the range with which, if you do fall and you need to contact the emergency response facility technicians, you need to be within, like just a few feet or 20 feet, 25 feet of the actual response system for it to actually work. So what's pretty cool about this Medipendent product is you can basically be anywhere in and around your house, outside, anywhere, and if you fall down, and you can just, with the push of a button, you can literally get in contact with emergency personnel and get everything taken care of. Battery life, phenomenal. Lithium batteries, so you don't have to worry about it malfunctioning. It's just a slight little bracelet you can just pop onto your wrist. You fall down outside while you're mowing the lawn or something else, anything, and you can just push that button. It's got a range of about 600 feet. All right, I'm not going to go into all the specifications of the product. You can go to the website medipendent.com and check it out yourself. All the little specifications and details, but needless to say, it's probably the top medical alarm product on the market as far as what it's actually used for, and it's different types of features and stuff. It's bilingual. It's in Spanish and English right now, and they're actually entering into some international distribution contracts right now where it'll be translated into other languages as well. So we're not talking just about a product in the U.S. here. That's becoming pretty popular. We're also talking about significant international distribution that this company's put out some recent press on. And so the market potential for this product is absolutely massive as they enter the key phase for its production and marketing here. All right. That was my little intro for the Medipendent. I'm running out of breath here. All right, let's roll over to the most significant marketing effort that this product has had to date within the United States, a store we are all familiar with, a retail chain. Costco, absolutely massive retail chain. I know I shop at Costco. I know pretty much everyone else has been to a Costco at one time or another. And as we can see here, I'm just rolling over onto the Costco.com page. We can see that just recently, within the last couple of months, as they entered into this partnership with Costco, we see the Medipendent being sold on the Costco site. All right, so let's think for 2 seconds about this. You have Costco, the biggest retail chain, and out of all of the possible medical alarm products that they could stick onto their store and feature on their site, they choose the Medipendent. That just goes to show that this product is legit, this product is the real deal, and it's basically the best that Costco could find out of all the different products they reviewed, and so they decided to sponsor it. We see a few reviews here, 5 out of 5. As I said, this product is superior to all the other products on the market, in my honest opinion. I haven't used it. I'm not quite that old yet, but positive reviews everywhere you go look, online, anywhere. All right. So we have a massive, massive partnership agreement with Costco.com. Their latest financials for MDHI that they released was, I believe, for the end of March 2011, and they were doing about $250,000 in revenues per quarter at that time, so just under about $1 million a year. And that was at the end of March 2011. Then the company kind of entered into a restructuring phase for a little while, so they weren't updating their financials, and they still haven't been. I assume they'll be doing that later this year. One of the press releases actually showed that they're going to do some audits later this year, so they're planning on having some audited financials. Excuse me, I'm running out of breath this morning. We'll get through it. Audited financials later in 2012 here, so we should look for some financial statements later this year. And I think as part of this partnership agreement and some of the other sales and distribution agreements, the company's actually kind of on a non-disclosure agreement as far as releasing how many units are actually being sold. I know as far as Costco goes, even in the press releases, they can't even announce the name Costco in the press releases. There's just so many legal issues and so many hoops you have to jump through to even put Costco in a press release. And so they've been just putting the largest, United States retail chain in all their press releases. It's kind of funny, but clearly, as we can see right here, that is Costco, none other than Costco.com, selling for about $140 a unit. And, revenues coming in from a few different avenues. Let's just mention a couple of these briefly. Obviously, the Medical Alarm Concept Holdings has an agreement with some emergency response teams and personnel. All right, and so just for paying for that service on a monthly basis, you buy the unit for $140, and you pay like $9.99 a month to have access to emergency response teams, and also just for the unit to be on and functioning like that. So a couple different revenue streams there that are coming into MDHI, some recurring, and some just a one-time thing as far as just purchasing the unit itself. So they have the recurring revenues and also the one-time revenues. So very significant as far as that goes. And in addition to, just a single individual either purchasing the product from either Costco.com or the company's website itself, you also have larger distributors, not only within the U.S., but also internationally, that are purchasing this product in bulk. All right. So, I mean, think about that. You got, a distributorship, let's say in the EU, European Union, purchasing, 5,000 units in one shot. That's $500,000. I mean, that's a very, very significant amount of revenues that could potentially be coming to this company if you land a couple of large distribution contracts. And you think now that Costco.com has taken this product on, what other large retailers, what other large stores are going to start taking this product on as well. All right, so this Costco news, absolutely huge for the company. I'm sure sales are absolutely going through the roof. Let's roll over to the iHub and actually check out some of the marketing efforts that have happened and are about to happen through Costco and elsewhere. Let's catch my breath here. Let's just scroll over to the iHub here. We see a little email blast that Costco did on June 8th, 2012, posted by GCRC here on the iHub, one of the moderators of the board. And as you can see, they're promoting the Medipendent product on this little emailer that Costco sends out some bulk emails to their members. If you scroll down here a little bit, they're featuring the Medipendent on that little emailer that they sent out. And that was actually a smaller emailer. They've been announcing in recent press releases, and we'll go over that in a second here, related to the huge fall promotion that Costco has. Once a year in the fall time frame, Costco sends out huge email blasts, tens of millions of current and potential customers of Costco. And that's where about 40% of sales happen through the Costco stores and whatnot as fall into the end of the year. So Medipendent is going to be featured in that email blast in the fall. And, basically, I mean, it's almost a no-brainer that that's going to increase the sales dramatically, far above anything that this company has ever seen. And we're talking about a company that was doing about $1 million in revenues annually on average at the end of March 2011. And now that they have this new partnership with Costco, they've been expanding overseas. I mean, think about the potential revenues with an email blast to 20 million people regarding the Medipendent. And once this name brand really, really gets out there, the growth potential is absolutely phenomenal. This is my favorite thing. I don't know if you guys see that, beating a dead horse. GCRC, kudos on that. All right, let's roll over to some of the press releases. Wait, where's the good one? Oh, here it is. This is one they actually put out this morning, pre-market, and I think they might have actually put out another one this morning. We'll have to check that out, but let's just look this over briefly. Pre-market is put out 7 a.m. Eastern. Medical Alarm Concepts Holding Incorporated today provided investors with an update on growth of the Medipendent business, an outline of its path to profitability, an overview of the company's business model, information about recent and projected sales, and an update on returning to fully reporting status. We just talked about financials coming out later this year, so they're hinting at that a little bit too. All right, the company recently launched a strategic alliance partnership with the largest warehouse club stores in the United States for the Medipendent product. We just talked all about Costco and the potential with the Costco partnership. very significant. During the June quarter, a total of approximately 4,000 Medipendents were sold. Due to the strong growth being realized for the reasons discussed below, the company is expecting to sell more units during the September quarter than were sold during the June quarter. So let's think 4,000 units. You're talking about $140 or more a pop. You know, Costco's a discount store. They're selling it for $140. That's not all coming from Costco. So, you know, that's $500,000 in a quarter. So we're talking about 400% growth from that latest financial in March 2011. And we're talking about now we're getting upwards of, close to $3 to $5 million a year. And they're just starting to enter that exponential growth phase. Now that they're, talking about expanding overseas and then this huge Costco deal. All right. So the growth is very significant, very quick now that they are expanding their marketing efforts and restructuring their business in very positive ways here. All right, they're making the right alliances. All right, as is also discussed below, Medical Alarm Concepts is expecting to move into profitability prior to the end of the year, if not sooner. All right. Let's just suffice it to say that MDHI did some very, very toxic financing in the past. All right. We've talked a lot about, the Ashers. We've talked a lot about the Redwoods. These toxic financer companies, they, give these companies that are on the brink of extinction money, significantly discounted shares as opposed to the actual price of the shares on the market. They get them at 50% discount or more, in addition to interest on the loans that they're giving these companies. And basically when they convert, they just sell it off, and it literally kills the stock. We see it time and time again. It's just one of the things you need to know about and be looking for in different types of filings and stuff in the over-the-counter market. Basically, Asher and those guys, I hate to say it, but they just take advantage of these companies that need money really, really bad. So MDHI has a history of that, but throughout the last year or so, with different types of management changes and different types of restructuring, they've been reducing their debt. They've made a commitment to no toxic financing. They have some preferred shareholders and warrant holders basically retiring shares, committing to the long-term growth of this company. Absolutely awesome stuff that they're doing in restructuring this company's debt and committing to no more toxic financing. And so finally, they're reducing their overhead expenses to a point and increasing revenues to a point where they can enter profitability. And once you start entering profitability, especially with an over-the-counter company trading sub-penny, these things can get really hot really quick. That is a very significant milestone, especially with the growth potential of this particular stock. All right, let's just read through the rest of this press release. Medical Alarm Concepts is experiencing rapid growth in both internet and retailer-based sales. Internet through their site and different types of search engines, retailer-based sales, obviously Costco, the major one right there. Recurring monthly revenue being realized. I mentioned that, just to have access to the different types of emergency systems. Those sales are obviously growing, and also sales of the units are growing. Ronnie Adams, the CEO. Ronnie Adams took over the company in early June. The old CEO left for personal reasons, nothing, against the company or anything like that. Ronnie Adams, CEO, commented, "Our recurring revenue is growing at a strong rate. For example, last week we shipped 50 units to new customers who had ordered our Medipendent with monitoring services. This growth will help us reach profitability very soon. An additional additive dynamic is the strong sales we are also realizing into our key distributors." I mentioned individual sales, but also, the major sales are going to come from these key distributors who are ordering the products, 2,000, 3,000 at a time, super bulk. That's big chunks of money coming in with each of those orders, and not only within the U.S., overseas. So the company recently began offering customers of its large retail partner the opportunity to extend an additional 3 to 12 months to their monitoring agreements. The upgrade rate has now climbed in excess of 75%, providing the company with additional high-margin revenue. Mr. Adams continued, the interesting thing about our business, however, is that we have an additional revenue stream that is also growing. International distributors are buying our units for deployment within their networks, and we have been able to capture their attention and orders. We've already announced one contract for this distribution business, and we expect to have additional distribution shipments for revenue through the end of the year. With the rapidly accelerating monthly revenue business and these meaningful distribution orders, we believe we will be profitable prior to year's end, if not sooner, and we will be able to sustain profitability as the monthly recurring revenues continue to grow. Scrolling down, the positive potential wild card for us between today and the end of the year will be the early fall promotion. I mentioned that through Costco. Fall is the major time for it. Early fall promotion with our large retail partner. This promotion accounts for approximately 40% of our partners' online sales for our category, and we believe it is quite an honor to participate. Our partner has given us a forecast for the promotion of between 1,500 and 25 units just from online sales in that one fall promotion alone. Absolutely massive. With our business already quickly trending toward profitability, based on the current ramp in internet and distributor-based product sales, we really are not sure of the degree to which our business will be positively affected. However, when we analyze the potential and considering our 75% upgrade rate, possibilities are very exciting. We are planning on adding some temporary staff to help us meet this additional demand. Most companies are firing people. The market's, crappy. This company is looking to hire people as they expand super rapidly with Costco. So very positive sign there for the company. As a result, Medical Alarm Concepts is pleased to reiterate its expectation for profitability prior to year's end, if not sooner, due to the recurring nature of large portions of the company's revenue streams. Management believes this profitability will be sustainable into future periods. Looks like we plan to soon rehire our auditor in order to return the company to fully reporting status. That's awesome. I know a lot of people on the boards are kind of like, oh, why, if this company's so great, why can't they release financials? Well, sometimes when you're going through a restructuring process, it's just not in the best interest of the company to do so. And they're working on some things and they're looking to get audited financials out, not just financials, non-audited, audited financials out. Later this year into early 2012. So another very significant development for this company. They're hiring auditors. They're hiring more employees because they're growing so fast. They just landed a huge deal with the largest retail store chain in the United States. I mean, come on, seriously. Absolutely phenomenal stuff going on with this company right now and the Medependent product. I'm very excited to see what those financials are showing. Now that they're getting upwards of probably close to 10,000 units sold this year. That's a very significant revenue stream for the company compared to its past. Let's see here. All right, so that is the press release that was put out this morning. Okay, let's roll over to the next little press release that I wanted to cover, which has some good information. This one was actually released on July 9th, 2012. MDHI update, rapid trend towards profitability continues, gearing up for major fall product promotion with US's second largest largest retail chain. Yep, we've talked about that a lot. Let's go over some of these key points. This is just another summary press release, and I'm trying to do this versus going over every single press release that they put out. They've put out a lot of press over the last year related to a lot of these points, but these summary press releases actually sum it up really, really well. So I'm just kind of sticking to these for the most part. All right, new major retail partnership. Talked about that a lot already. Costco, major fall promotion. Already talked about that. That's where most of the Costco online sales happen. And they've taken on the Medependent to be a part of that fall promotion, so that's huge. Second quarter shipments, third quarter outlook. We've already talked about, they just put out press today. They had, for the June quarter, they did meet that 4,000 Medependent unit mark. $500,000 to $1 million in revenues just in that quarter. They also talk a little bit about European customers, European distributorships. So the market potential, like I said, is absolutely huge when you think about all the different countries that this product could be ink some deals in. All right, and this key point we haven't covered yet. I did briefly mention it, but let's just get an idea of some of the numbers here. Major debt restructuring. All right, over the past few quarters, the management team has been very successful in restructuring the company's convertible debt. All right, now we're talking about convertible debt, converting different types of warrants, converting preferred shares into common shares, some of that toxic stuff that we were talking about related to Asher, but also, you get some other big funders that truly believe in a product that can do some of that too. And sometimes you can talk them into, taking a more long-term outlook and actually doing something that helps the company quite a bit. So let's talk about this. As a result, portions of the toxic convertible debt and more than 100 million warrants have been canceled. All right, significantly more debt and warrant cancellations are currently being negotiated and are expected by the end of the third quarter. All debt is now consolidated under one entity that has a strong interest in the long-term viability of the company. Important to this debt restructuring is a recently acquired credit line of $750,000 that has enabled the company to acquire needed inventory, renegotiate and extend the patent license, and pay off virtually all of the company's short-term trade receivables. All right, so let's talk about this briefly. 100 million warrants just canceled. And we're not just talking about warrants. If you actually read through the filings and you do a little due diligence, these are in the money warrants, all right? They could literally purchase shares for significantly less than what the company's stock is currently trading at. It's instant money, free money. But they've negotiated with this large funder and convinced them that the growth for this company is going to be so large, so significant, that it is in the best interest of all parties to not just give him free money. Okay? I mean, think how big that is. And we're not talking a small amount of, shares. We're talking about 100 million warrants. Obviously, that would cause significant dilution to the common shareholders. And this essentially prevents dilution onto the open market. All right. So very, very significant debt restructuring going on. Not a small amount in the slightest. Also, a big little point here. Nice little credit line for them to utilize, especially as they're in this significant expansion phase before they start to get some of the cash flow from these increasing revenues. All right. And another little key point, they're negotiating to even, cancel more warrants, restructure debt even more. All right. And another key point, all debt is now consolidated under one entity. All right, that has a strong interest in the long-term viability. So you don't have 10 different parties you have to deal with, and 5 of them want out of the company, so they'll just convert and kill the stock price, and 5 that are looking more long-term. So you get all these arguments going on, and then they convert because they know this other group's going to convert and sell off, and it just kills the stock. This is under one group now that's interested in the long-term viability of the company. All right. And this is the same group that's canceling all these damn warrants. So awesome, awesome news there for current or potential shareholders. Major debt restructuring, very positive for shareholders. All right, now let's move on to the actual share structure. Not really updated on Pink Sheets. As we said, it was a limited information company on Pink Sheets. All right, so current outstanding shares and reporting status. As a result of debt conversations and settlements with toxic debt holders, there are currently approximately 561 million outstanding common shares, yielding a total market cap of under $2.5 million. All right, so 2.5 million market cap. It's actually less than that now. This was released in earlier July when the stock was trading at much higher prices. I think it's actually below a $2 million market cap right now. And, we're talking about a company that's doing far more revenues than that on a forward-looking basis. So usually some of these stocks are trading at, 10 times revenues when they're in the over-the-counter market. So when you think about how undervalued this is compared to the revenues that they're bringing in, they're getting audits done later this year. And also, doing all this other debt restructuring and about to enter into a phase of profitability, you can think of some numbers yourself and what the stock should be valued at. But I can assure you that in general, it's going to be significantly higher than a 2.5 million market cap for what this company is doing and what they're getting ready to do. All right, so significantly undervalued, in my opinion. Over recent periods, all of the Series A preferred stock been retired, and virtually all Series B preferred stock has been converted to commons. These retirements and conversions are included in the above outstanding share count. The majority of the outstanding shares are restricted from sale and can only be sold under SEC Rule 144. That limits the amount of shares that can be sold per quarter, different things like that. So a lot of those shares are actually restricted. If I had to guess, I would say we got about a 350 million float, just based on some of the numbers I crunched in my head. So the float's actually about 200 million less than an outstanding share count of shares that are actually freely trading. MDHI is a voluntary reporter to the SEC, but management understands the importance of transparency. An accounting and auditing review is expected to commence sometime before the end of the calendar year. And then just below that, this is that very significant no toxic financing commitment that I mentioned, and kind of ties in with that debt restructuring, retirement of all these warrants. All right, we're getting there. Let's move on to just one of the distribution contracts internationally that I was talking about. Medical Alarm Concepts Holdings, Inc. today announced it has signed an exclusive distribution agreement with a Danish company that plans to distribute the Medipendent personal medical alarm throughout Denmark and several other Scandinavian countries. The initial order is 500 units, with additional orders expected on an ongoing basis. All right, so this is just one potential international contract here. First order for 500 units. I'm sure subsequent orders will be larger as this product becomes more popular and the distribution chains are more fully set in these international areas. But this kind of sheds light into some of the distributors overseas that are also going to be ordering units in the thousands. All right, so they have some of those contracts in the U.S. with key distributors, not to mention the retail chain avenue through Costco and other retailers, not to mention their own website for the Medipendent. So definitely a company that's on the verge of breaking out as far as revenues go, turn into profitability. They'll be updating some financials later in the year. The debt restructuring, very positive for shareholders. Just a ton of stuff going on that's all kind of culminating into one thing, and that's, providing value for the common shareholders right now. So very significant stuff going on. And then that's enough about the Medipendent, which is the key product for this company. The MDHI is a holding company, and they have two key subsidiaries, if you will, products that they are looking to develop, produce, market. And the other one here in an earlier stage is this motor booster product. So, pretty much a complete 180 as far as the sector and market. MDHI selects FEV for comprehensive motor booster testing and evaluation. I just pulled this press release up. It's the most recent press release related to the motor booster product. It's a fuel enhancement product. Let's just go over this quick. Medical Alarm Concepts Holding Inc. today announced it has selected FEV of Auburn Hills, Michigan to conduct further tests of its motor booster engine catalyst product, which in preliminary tests demonstrates strong fuel mileage gains and significant emissions reductions. The new set of tests, which are expected to begin later this week and to be completed in approximately 3 weeks, hint, hint, we'll probably be expecting news related to the results soon, because this press release was for late June, will utilize EPA-compliant equipment under highly controlled and extensively supervised conditions. All right, so they're using top-of-the-line equipment so they can, pass all these tests and show significant and well-known results through EPA regulations here for their motor booster engine catalyst product, fuel enhancer. Again, they're in the testing phase of this. Sales are basically test sales at this point, but should these tests prove positive and they ink some more distributor contracts for the motor booster product, we could see some significant revenues coming in from this side of things as well. But that's pretty much all I want to mention about the motor booster product for now. I'm assuming we'll be seeing some more significant press related to that in the future, in addition to this med-dependent product as well. Let's just scroll over to DD Amanda before we take a look at the chart itself. Get an idea of some of the dollar volumes as the stock has been seeing some of the excitement. As we can see here, over the last few weeks, dollar volumes have been pretty low compared to what we were seeing a month, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, we're seeing some $50,000 days, some $70,000 days, and over the past couple of weeks, we haven't really seen anything over $10,000 in one trading day. But as you can see on the chart right next to it here, we've kind of been hanging around this 003 area for a long, long time on this low volume. So I really like that. This is kind of a nice little chart setup, and to get more details on that, I'm going to roll over to Stock Sumo. Are you there?
All right, let's bring up that chart. Okie dokie. Chart is a prime bottom candidate, and I'm going to go over why. You can see that recently the accumulation distribution increased and busted through this 50 MA overlay. Found a bottom right here, and that looks like when the stock saw its bottom, and then ever since then we've seen the accumulation distribution turn up. Got through that 50 MA overlay recently, so that looks good. Notice that the stock has been hovering around a support level here, around 0025 area, and notice that the PPO is currently converging, crossing here. And the last time that it set up and did this was back here in May, and that's when the stock was around this bottom here and had the run up all the way up to 0094, busted through these moving averages, and that's what really ignited that run. When the PPO crossed over, you've seen the blue bars on the histogram flip over to the bullish side, and we're starting to see that formation here. I'd like to see these blue bars on the histogram continue to stack up to the positive side, because that's always a bullish indicator. I want to see the slow stow get above that 50 MA overlay, as well as that PPO after the crossover. And I'd like to see MDHI get above the resistance at the 20-day moving average, which is at 0032. Notice the last time that the 20-day moving average saw its low was right here, and it turned up, and that's when the stock started to break out. So I'd like to see this 20-day moving average curl up, and I'd like to see the stock get above it, and this thing could make a really nice rally off this bottom.
Thanks, Ben. And I actually just want to add before we finish up with MDHI for the day and let our listeners go do some of their own due diligence on the stock. If you could roll back to my screen real quick, Siffy. One thing I'll show is just the iBox. It's got some good videos, type videos. I don't know if they're infomercial freaks out there, but I've seen some of these commercials for the Medipendent product on infomercials myself. So you can go check out some YouTube videos of the actual Medipendent product, and you can watch some old people falling down and, kind of laugh at the commercial a little bit. And then not only did they release a general company update to relate it to their big fall campaign for Costco today, we mentioned in the one update from late July that they were thinking about even reducing more than the 100 million warrants. Well, guess what? They put out press this morning while I was talking here related to more warrant cancellations. Medical Alarm Concepts cancels 61.5 million warrants, significantly strengthening the balance sheet. All right, so now we're up to 160, 170 million in the money warrants that have been canceled. Again, this guy is just giving away free money because he fully believes in the company's long-term growth prospect. Today announced the cancellation of an additional approximately 61.5 million warrants to purchase common stock, the vast majority of which contained toxic reset provisions. The holders of these warrants received no compensation of any kind for these cancellations. Since the beginning of negotiations with its debt holders, the company has been able to cancel a total of approximately 162.5 million warrants and a significant portion of convertible debt. And as a result, all but approximately 7.4 million warrants have been canceled over the past few months. All right, so think about that. Think of how much dilution they just prevented by renegotiating this with their key warrant holder, who obviously believes in the long-term growth of the company and obviously believes he's going to make just as much money by canceling these warrants long-term as he would by converting the warrants and significantly diluting the common shareholders, which they're not going to do at the current time. All right, so just kind of a culmination of very shareholder-friendly things going on with this company, not only on the revenue side of things, but also just on the debt side of things and toxic debt side of things. So definitely one to put your eyes on and go do some due diligence on, because I think they're getting ready to blow up. That's all I got. I'm done for the morning. I'm out of breath.
Cool. Well, hey, it's always exciting to see these companies that are past the R&D stages, that actually have their products out there and getting contracts. That always tends to be an exciting time for shareholders. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how time prevails for these guys.
Awesome stuff. All right. Well, I think we should call it a show. Let's dedicate this show to MDHI. There's lots of information going on there. And I think
next thing we're going to have to work towards is getting a CEO on the show. That'll be great.
I think we'll reach out to him and try to get him on today.
Yeah, let's work on that. That sounds like a good idea. Awesome. Good job, Haas. As always, it's a pleasure. And thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check us out again tomorrow and the rest of the week.
Cheers, folks.
STT Live. We're out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.